Welcome back, Daydreamers. I'm Justin, your ragtag daydreamer, and today we're going to continue talking about this crap kit, the RMS 099 Rick Dias, and we're going to be doing some pre-shading. Now, don't get too intimidated yet. It's not that scary, and I'm going to show you. The only problem that you may run into is if you don't have an airbrush or you're not very skilled at an airbrush. We'll handle the not very skilled because I'm not either. But if you don't have an airbrush, then you're kind of limited to two options. You can use pastels, or you'll have to hand feather out all of the darker colors we're going to apply here, away from all of the edges and things like that. Now, if you're an accomplished mini painter, and you play Warhammer and those kind of things, any tabletop games where you have to paint miniatures, this may be easier for you. But a lot of people I know aren't really into that. They're not really comfortable doing that kind of work. They're not comfortable in their skill sets on that kind of work, and that's something that just kind of comes with practice. So if you're not in that realm, I would say move to pastels. I haven't shown you guys any pastels on this channel yet, but if it's something that you're interested in, please let me know. And also, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And without further ado, let's get into pre-shading. Okay, let's start off with some black paint. I didn't really intend for this to be a black metallic paint, but that's what I ended up grabbing, and that's what I'm going to go with. It was already in the airbrush before I realized what I had done, and I don't think it's going to hurt anything at all. If anything, it will allow us to paint over the parts that needed to be black or an off black for this kit, as well as do the pre-shading. As you can tell, the pre-shading portion of this kit is essentially me going around all of the edges of the different parts that we're going to be repainting and putting a reasonably fine line around these areas. Nothing pencil thin, maybe like a marker, and then allow that paint to kind of overspray a little bit so that you can get that fade away. Anything around panel lines, new panels, and different plot plate we put into this kit, as well as anything that will benefit from a zenith shade where you want to come from underneath and paint that part. That's the parts that I'm really hitting. Behind pieces that usually will not be seen, and any of the parts that we have etched any new panel lines in. On top of that, I'm also hitting any hard angles or edges as well, and I just feel like that gives a great look to the finished kit in order to hit those raised edges even if it doesn't have a panel line on it. The backpack and other pieces, again, they are getting the same full coverage coat because they're going to be black or near black anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and give those a complete coat, and then we'll get to those later when we get to hand painting and give those pieces a little more pop, a little more something extra than just being a flat coat of metallic black. As you can tell from some of the speckling that you're also seeing on this kit, I am not an expert at mixing and thinning paints for airbrushing. I'm actually quite new to airbrushing in the scheme of things. I know there's a lot more practice that I need to put into it. And I'm also using a really crap airbrush for this crap kit. It's a master airbrush that I got in a kit from Amazon, and I sharpened the needle and cleaned out a lot of the packing oils and things like that, re-oiled, re-lubed, and reassembled it, and basically made it something that is on par with a lower end, better brand airbrush. Yes, I am using the Pledge Floor Care Finish. Hack? Is it a hack? I'm using that here because I found some pretty good results with it in an in-between layer. I know some people who've had tremendously good results with using this as their gloss finish. Enough said, full stop, bar none. I really haven't, and maybe I haven't given this enough chance to do the proper job for me. I have found that when it came time to panel line, and then if anything were to go wrong with the panel lining and I had to clean up any of that, and it just didn't seem to stand up to that kind of abuse. We'll get into that in future episodes because that's coming. It's part of the detail phase that we need to do with this kit. Now for the base red color on this kit, I'm going with a Vallejo Air Bloody Red. And of course, just like many kits that I end up building, I got some parts mix matched and forgot where I was for a moment. And even though I had properly taped off all of my parts so that they were ready for paint, I forgot that the feet did not need to be painted red. Don't freak out. We can go over that with some gray. It's just going to take a couple more coats of the gray, and it'll be just fine in the end, I'm sure. After 2 coats of this bloody red, I then went back to any of the spots on any of those pieces where the black was still showing through a little too much, and I gave it more of that color. The main thing here is you can even out some of that darker shades that you put on with the pre-shading process if things just aren't looking right to you, and cover that up a little bit more to even out blends, or really just remove that pre-shading from pieces that you thought was going to look good in that process, but then when it came to actually applying the base color, it's not looking so hot. Practice these kind of things on this kind of kit where it's not a real expensive kit. And yeah, we've put some time into making it better, but that's a learning process. And then you can carry over what you learn here into kits that are already made better out of the box and make them even better. And there's the front skirt armor. I think it had some of the most ply plate in the smallest amount of area that we did on this kit. And I just wanted to show that to you a little closer so that you could see once it's painted and once it's been pre-shaded, it does look really good. It not being those 2 different colors and things like that. One of the things that I do regret on that piece though is I think I may have went a little heavy-handed on the red, and I painted away a lot of the pre-shading that I did on those parts. At least for that front skirt area and the crotchal region. So that's a bummer, but we'll just see how the rest of this goes. Okay, so now this is what we're working with. It's right about where I want it to be for the pre-shading and everything. I think it looks really good for what it is, and I think it looks exactly like I want it to look at this stage. I am noticing that I did not get all of the seam line off the back of that leg as clean as I would have hoped, even after all the work that I put into it. But sometimes fingernail test goes through, everything looks fine, and then paint will show you all of your mistakes. So I did see another scratch on one of the feet as well that I missed and I thought was fine. I thought it was just, you could just look at it and tell, but you couldn't feel it on there. And with the paint, came out. So that kind of stuff is going to happen. That's why we practice all of these things on a crap kit. Again, I'm no expert. I'm learning a lot of this stuff along with you guys, hopefully. Hopefully you're building along with me and making all of these adjustments to the kit along with me so that you can learn some new techniques as well. Now, if you found any of this information useful, or you know somebody that would find it useful, please consider sharing it with those people and, liking the video. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you're not following me on social media, be sure to check out my links in the description below for my Instagram and Facebook page. I'm even on Twitter, but no one ever talks to me. So be sure to hit me up on those platforms. I would love to hear and interact with you, and I would love to know what you want to see me do. What can I show you guys how to do, or how to screw up completely so that you don't feel so bad about your own building. If you're not following me on Facebook or Instagram yet, you probably do not know that I've also designed a couple of t-shirts and some apparel. It's on Teespring, and the link is also in the description below. So if you're interested in that, check that out. It will go into helping this channel, helping me buy kits, and helping me buy more tools and things to show you guys how to build more Gunpla. If you're interested in seeing more of this series, or if you're just now tuning in and you want to see where this all started, go ahead and feel free to check out these links here, and that's going to show you the full playlist for this series. If you like any of this stuff, please like it, please subscribe, and if you don't like it, thumbs down and tell me exactly why you don't like the content that I'm putting out. Until next time, Daydreamers, I'm Justin, your Ragtag Daydreamer, and I'll see you soon.